Hello guys, can you see this board?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Good
So,
afternoon.
good afternoon. Where did we left in the last class?
सर आपने कुछ गॉस लॉ के क्वेश्चन दिए थे, मतलब वो
Cases.
वायर का अगर सेम साइज हाइट इनफाइनाइट वायर ले तो क्या होगा उस टाइप।
Okay. "28th." Tutorial, I think, right? This is tutorial.
Sir, not this one, sir. Before this one.
25th. Okay. All right. So you can, obviously see that Gauss law does not work sometime. And the main essence is this. This is one equation, right? This is one scalar. So this is only one equation. And you can only solve one unknown variable using one equation. So if your electric field has only one variable, maybe ER only, or let us say only theta or only Z component, then you can find the electric field using Gauss law. And if there are more than one component of electric field which are non-zero, then obviously Gauss law is not going to help you in any case because there is only one equation to solve. And that was happening when you are dealing with a wire of finite length. Because when you have a wire of finite length, at any point you have two components now. One along x-axis, one along y-axis. But if you have a wire of infinite length,
Only along x-axis.
you have only one component along x-axis. The y component does not survive because whatever is the amount of charge above this point, same amount of the charge is there on the other side, and y component cancels out. So only for symmetrical cases where somehow you get rid of other components due to symmetry, then only Gauss law can help you. Okay. So let me summarize the features of electric field now. Electric field is given by this formula. This is due to a point charge, and you can extend this formula to other cases. What are the properties? So this electric field follow Gauss law. Or the same equation can be written as this way. Where rho is volume, charge, density. Unit charge means coulomb, per unit volume is per meter cube. Okay. What else do we know about electric field? So let me add some more features for electric field. It's a conservative field. What do we mean by conservative fields? Anyone?
So, sir, in which
the derivative with respect to x is equal to derivative with respect to y.
Sir, the work done by this electric field does not depend on path.
Right. I mean, so when you say work done, you are saying that field is a force, or equivalent of work done is actually this. Let us say we have some vector field F, then work done is actually this calculation. Let us say we are going to do some work from point A to point B. Okay. So either you can say work done or you can say this line integral. So let us say this is some vector field. Okay, can be of any shape, I don't know. And I am going from this point A to some other point B. And there are many ways to go from A to B. I can go in a straight line. I can go along some this curve. I can go like this as well. Okay. And if my work done does not depend on the path I have chosen, then I can say that the field is conservative. One of the example of conservative field is gravitational force. This is Earth. And let us say you want to shift one block from this height h1 to this height h2. Okay. You can choose whatever path you want to choose. You can directly lift from this point to this point. You can lift like this, or you can go like this. Okay. In any case, the work done by you to go from A to point B is same. It does not depend on path. Okay. It only depends on where is A and where is B. How do you go from A to B? That does not make any difference. So this A to B is equal to some function at B. So I am using some other symbol now, small f. That is like integral of f. So it depends on what is the actual form of f. Calculate that integral at B minus calculated integral at A. This is the work done. Okay. As long as your A and B are not going to change, your work done is not going to change, whatever path you choose. And if I go from A to B, if I go from point A to point B, let us say by this path, some strange path. Okay, and then I go back. Go back means going back from B to A, and let us say this is the path I choose. Okay. Then how much did I work during this cycle?
0.
When I go from A to B, this much. And when I come from B to A, f dot dl path does not really matter, obviously equal to fa minus fb. Total work around the loop. Now you can see this is a loop. So fb minus fa plus fa minus fb is equal to 0. So this is another technique. I mean, this is a trick that if a field is conservative, then its integral around any loop is 0. So if someone give me a vector field, let us say someone give me some electric field, and if it is conservative, I take integral around a loop, it will come out to be 0. So if someone asks me, can you please tell whether a given field is conservative or not? यदि मेरे पास कोई unknown vector field है, and someone asks me, please check it is conservative or not. What is the trick?
तो उसमें जो x डायरेक्शन में है उसका y के रिस्पेक्ट में डेरिवेटिव और जो y का डायरेक्शन में उसका x के रिस्पेक्टिव डेरिवेटिव लेके इक्वल करना पड़ेगा.
सर डेल क्रॉस ई जीरो कर देंगे.
What you are saying is correct, but let me give you more general. I mean,
सर डेल क्रॉस ई जीरो कर लेंगे.
right. So the generic approach that take a loop, any loop, and you can choose as per your choice. Calculate the integral, it should be 0. But even a smarter way, apply Stokes theorem here. Stokes theorem is always valid, right? Whether it is conservative, not conservative, does not really matter. And what does Stokes theorem say? The loop integral around the boundary is equal to surface integral of curl of that function. Okay. Now this loop integral is 0, so this surface integral is also 0. What does it say? That take the curl and instead of now doing the integral over the boundary, do the integral over the surface enclosed by the boundary. Since loop integral is 0, this surface integral will also be 0. Now can I say that if this integral is 0, then del cross f is also 0?
Yes, sir.
Why? It may also be possible that this surface integral is somewhere 0, somewhere not 0, and when you take sum of all the small elementary area, then somehow total summation becomes 0.
सर वो सारे अलग-अलग डायरेक्शन में होंगे ना.
No, my point is, so this integral says that calculate del cross f. यहाँ पे कैलकुलेट कीजिए, यहाँ के एरिया से मल्टीप्लाई कीजिए एंड नोट डाउन दिस. यहाँ कैलकुलेट कीजिए, यहाँ के एरिया से मल्टीप्लाई कीजिए, नोट डाउन दिस, एंड देन समेशन ऑफ ऑल दीज स्मॉल पैचेस must be equal to 0. So one of the possibility is that some of the patches have positive value, some of the patches have negative value, and total summation becomes 0. Second possibility is that del cross f is 0 everywhere. So which possibility is true?
क्रॉस एफ 0 होना चाहिए ना, क्योंकि तो हर एरिया के लिए ट्रू है.
See, this integral is true for every possible shape you can choose. आप चाहे तो ये लूप बनाइए, आप चाहे तो ये लूप बनाइए, आप चाहे तो इतना सा लूप बनाइए, या आप इतना बड़ा लूप बनाइए, या आप इस तरह का लूप बनाइए. It is true for every possible loop. आपने एक लूप ये बनाया, एक इससे हल्का सा मॉडिफाई करके नया लूप बनाया, दोनों के लिए ही ट्रू है. So it then only possible answer that this term itself is 0 everywhere, then only you can have such a strong constraint. So del cross f has to be 0 at each and every point. हर एक small patch पे del cross f 0 है, and that is why total summation is also 0. Okay. So when I say a field is conservative, it's equivalent to that the curl of that field is 0. Okay. And it is the same thing that you are saying. Take the x component derivative with respect to y, and this must be equal to y component derivative with respect to x, something like that. So it's the same thing. This is the most general answer, and this is just subset of it. Okay. So electric field is conservative. It means del cross E is equal to 0. Electrostatic field is always conservative. What does it mean? If this is the electric field due to some object, the work done by charge around a loop will always be 0. एक चार्ज लीजिए, उसको एक लूप के अराउंड मूव कराइए, the net work done by charge will be 0. So let me add into the features of electric field. This is one property, this is second, third is this. Okay. So it means that you cannot say that any vector field is electric field. ऐसा नहीं कि आपने कुछ भी लिख दिया और आप कैसे मान लेंगे कि ये इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है. A unknown field can be a possible electric field only if it is conservative. आपको कोई अननोन फील्ड दिया जाए और पूछा जाए कि क्या इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड हो सकता है, it must satisfy this quantity. If it satisfies this, then it's a possible electric field. कैसे वो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड जनरेट होगा? This equation tells you that the charge distribution must follow this equation and you can generate that electric field. Okay? So these are two necessary constraints for the electric field. And whenever you have a conservative field, you can define one more quantity. Potential. Well, like gravitational forces are conservative, and therefore you define gravitational potential. Similarly, since electric field is conservative, you can define electric potential. If you do not have a conservative field or conservative force, you cannot define potential also. Like dissipative force, the frictional forces. Can you define a potential for this? कभी सुना है आपने फ्रिक्शनल पोटेंशियल के बारे में?
No, sir.
Right. So potentials are always defined whenever you have a conservative force. What is the definition of potential? So potential is not a, so the potential difference let us say between 2 points BB minus BA. So one point is B, one point A is equal to what? Work done by a unit charge to go from A to B. Means, let us say this is some electric field. It can be of any shape. I should have drawn field lines, but I am drawing vectors. So it's not a good approach, but let's keep it like this. We have one point here. Let me call it A. We have another point here. Let me call it B. Potentials means how much work you have to do to go from A to B. If you are going from A to B, and let us say the work done by you is W, then W is equal to potential at B minus potential at A. Okay. So it is the potential difference that really matters. Or the equivalent definition of potential is now, if I take A to be infinity, then W is equal to potential at B, right? A is equal to infinity, and let me choose BA is equal to 0. ये कहाँ से आया? We just assumed. So what is the definition of potential? Work done apply a charge to bring it from infinity to point A, okay, or point B. So what is the potential at point B? Point B पोटेंशियल क्या होगा? चार्ज को इन्फिनिटी से लाइए और यहाँ पर रख दीजिए. Whatever is the work done by you, that is the potential at B. Okay. How much is that work? इसको कैलकुलेट भी कर सकते हो. So let us say we have Q charge. Okay. How much is the force on this charge? If E is the electric field, let us say this is the charge Q, and if let us say this is the electric field. So force applied by the electric field on this charge is
E.
F, or F, let us say E, because this is the force applied by the electric field. What is the force applied by us?
माइनस का क्यू ई.
Minus of Fe, because we have to work against this electric field. इस फील्ड के अगेंस्ट हमको काम करना पड़ेगा to bring it from one point to other, is equal to minus Q of E. How much is the work? So B minus BA is equal to delta B is equal to A to B F. हमने कितना फोर्स लगाया? Dot DL. DL is any path from A to B. Since it's a conservative field, you can choose whatever path you want. Okay. And how much it is now? Minus Q E. Sorry, this is Q times, because potential is work done per unit charge. How much charge you have? Q. Okay. Q vector E dot DL, A to B. Delta we can I can also use fundamental theorem for gradient now. What does it say? Delta F or dF, I mean integral dF is equal to integral gradient of F dot dL, right? So this Q, this dV can be written as this delta V, actually this, let me write in the precise form. Q integral of dV A to B. This is VV minus V, right? Q A to B. So dV is gradient of B dot dL is equal to minus Q A to B integral E dot dL. Q cancels, and I can again, this integral is true for any path you choose. The shape of path does not really matter. It means that the term inside integral has to be equal at each and every point, or gradient of potential is equal to minus of electric field. Since we are actually calculating electric field, minus of gradient. Okay. So this is equivalent to the gravitational case. Gravitational field में आपने पढ़ा होगा, force is equal to minus del V by del X, right? Same thing is here. Electric field is equivalent to force minus gradient is like del V by del X. Since it is in 3 dimensions, it is now a gradient. So this is the equivalent potential which you can calculate from electric field. Let me add it to in this list. All right. So these are the features of electric field. Now can I merge these two? This and this. So what I am suggesting is this. Rho y epsilon naught, and E is this gradient of the potential. So if I merge these two, what will I get? Divergence of minus of gradient of B is equal to rho y epsilon naught. Or I can take this minus on the other side. So vector del dot del B is equal to minus rho epsilon naught, or del dot del, this is same as this, or no, yes, it is same. Okay, so it is the same thing. We have just written in terms of potential. Now if you give me charge, I can tell you directly the electric potential using this equation. So del square B is equal to minus rho by epsilon naught. क्या नाम है इस इक्वेशन का? POI double S. Let me check the spelling. POI double S ON. Poisson distribution. Okay. So either you can solve these two, या तो आप इन दो को solve कीजिए, or you can solve one single equation. It has the same meaning. All right. How did you incorporate this equation in potential? इसका क्या होगा? I mean, there is a constraint on electric field. वो constraint potential पे भी तो आना चाहिए था. क्यों नहीं आया? Is my question clear?
Sir, repeat again, please.
So electric field, see, some charge distribution is given to you. Here are charge distribution. Okay. Electric field must follow two constraints. Divergence must be equal to the given charge distribution, and it has to be conservative, means curl should always be 0. इसी को आपने rewrite करके इस तरीके से लिख लिया है, right? What happened to this? Del cross E is equal to 0. I'm saying that either you can solve these two or you can directly solve potential. आपको एक ही आंसर मिलेगा. Obviously पोटेंशियल मिलेगा, but you can calculate electric field from potential. यहाँ से आप वापस इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड निकाल सकते हैं. एक बार पोटेंशियल मिल गया आपको, वेक्टर E is minus del B, right? So what happened to the curl?
सर पोटेंशियल जो स्केलर क्वांटिटी है डेल क्रॉस ई तो होगा ही नहीं ना.
2 times del आ जाएगा तो उसका क्रॉस प्रोडक्ट 0 हो जाएगा ना.
Let me tell you the main thing here now. So when we have a conservative field, let me give some remarks on this. You already know loop integral is 0, right? The same thing tells that curl is 0, and a potential can only be defined for conservative field, right? Let me give you two mathematical identity also. इससे डायरेक्ट कनेक्टेड नहीं है, but you can make some outcome. Divergence of curl of any vector field is 0. Means कोई फंक्शन लीजिए, एनी फंक्शन, इसका कर्ल लीजिए, दिस विल आल्सो बी वेक्टर फील्ड, इसका डाइवर्जेंस कर लीजिए, दिस इज 0 ऑलवेज. Similarly,
any divergence field is 0.
curl of gradient is always 0. Let me complete first. Means take any scalar function f, take the gradient of it, it will be vector quantity now. Take the curl of it. This is 0 always. Yes, what is your question? Now let me focus on this constraint. Although mathematical है, but you can make some physics out of it. It will take some time. Curl of gradient is 0.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, can you show that again, sir, about that potential? You said there is only one constraint.
You mean here?
Yes, sir. One scroll up.
I'm
Sir,
just saying, yes.
This one also involves del cross E and del dot E and del cross E, no, sir. I mean, if you expand this del square of V,
I mean,
same as the electric field.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. It already have this equation, but in a very hidden manner, and that's what I'm going to explore you now.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
See, now I am saying that del cross E is 0, right? So it look like that whenever del cross E is 0, I can always write electric field as a gradient of something. So F is actually a potential when I'm talking about electric field. Okay. So when this definition of V comes, जैसे ही हमने V को define किया था, ये automatically true हो गया था. So V can only be defined if you have this constraint del cross E is equal to 0. यदि del cross E 0 नहीं होगा, ये definition ही सही नहीं हो सकती. So when you define E like minus del V, it automatically means, I mean, if you take del cross here, del cross here also, this is 0. V कुछ भी हो, V की जगह आप जो मन चाहे रखिए, it will always be 0. Okay. So it's a feature of conservative field. If you have a conservative field, you can always define a potential for it. So this is the pure mathematical version. इसको physics में थोड़ा सा realize करना मुश्किल है. But since you already have some idea of potential, that's why I gave you this. Okay. So this equation already has these two, although it's a very hidden manner, but it is there. So del cross E is equal to 0 is somewhere hidden in the definition of potential. कर्ल 0 नहीं होगा तो पोटेंशियल ही नहीं बना सकते, उसको कैलकुलेट करना बात की बात है. So let me add this there also. Where? In this place. Here. So what we have now, del square B is equal to minus y epsilon naught. What is the benefit? In the case of electric field, you are dealing with two equations, but they are first order. Here you are dealing with one equation, but this is second order. So your level of difficulty is same. ऐसा नहीं कि आपकी प्रॉब्लम इजी हो गई है. It is equally difficult. It depends on what you are comfortable with. Sometimes this Poisson equation works better. Sometimes their split version works better. So it depends on the case, but your work, the level of difficulty is same. All right. So this is all about electric field potential. What else is there? No, nothing. So let us say rho is equal to 0. Rho is equal to 0 means
charge 0.
what we get? Del square V is equal to 0. What is V is equal to now? So it does not mean that V is 0. ऐसा नहीं है कि V 0 हो जाएगा. Let me give you one example. We have some charge here, Q. Okay. Let us say this is x comma y is equal to 0, 0 point. So rho at 0 comma 0 is not 0. There is a charge. But rho xy, any other point except 0, 0. What is the charge density? If you ask me what is the charge density at this point A, is there any charge? No. What is the charge density here? No. Charge density is 0. So at this point A, del square B is 0. At this point B, del square B is 0. At this point origin only, del square B not is equal to 0. Okay. So del square V is equal to 0 is a most common case. Everywhere in free space, जहाँ पे कुछ नहीं है, pure vacuum, del square V is 0. Okay. What is the answer for this problem?
Sir, along the equipotential surface also?
Sorry?
Sir, along the equipotential surface, del square V 0.
Yes. So equipotential surface is one of the special case of this equation. Equipotential surface एक special case है. उसके अलावा भी cases हैं. Like see here, what is the potential due to this single charge? It is like this. अभी इसको draw करेंगे. So this is charge here. This is one equipotential surface. This is another equipotential surface. Circles. Okay. This is another equipotential surface. But you can see del square V is 0 everywhere. आप यहाँ पे कर लीजिए, कहीं भी check कर लीजिए, anywhere except the origin. Del square V हर जगह 0 है. So equipotential surface is just a special case. आप सिर्फ इस surface पे रहना चाह रहे हैं. My argument की surface के बाहर भी del square V 0 है. So what is the actual answer? It's a complicated answer. It depends on what are the boundaries. Boundary means एक boundary यहाँ पर है, आपने यहाँ potential fix कर दिया है. One of the boundaries infinity here. Infinity आपने कह दिया 0 है. So depending on the boundary, depending on the cases, this can have infinite numbers of answer. Okay. There is not only one solution of this equation. Which solution will work for you depending on the boundary set by you. Boundary set by means आपने constraint क्या क्या रखे potential पर. Like what is the constraint here? एक constraint आपने रखा है ये, where rho is equal to some delta function at 0 0. Second constraint है b at infinity is 0. So under these two constraint, this is the answer जो मैंने ज्योमेट्री से बनाया है. If you change your constraint, आपका आंसर चेंज करेगा. This is like this. ये ऐसा कुछ नया नहीं पढ़ रहे हैं आप. In classical mechanics, everything is defined by this equation. But इसके कितने सॉल्यूशन है? Kepler problem means the Earth is moving around sun. There are infinite numbers of solutions of this single equation. So Newton's law का कोई एक आंसर नहीं है. It has infinite numbers of answers. You set your constraint, and this will tell you the corresponding answer. Same thing is here. So, but what is the possible scenario in a vacuum? When you say that, what is the possible shape of electromagnetic waves? How does potential changes in a universe? Then this equation help you a lot. तब ये equation आपको help करता है. Del square b is equal to 0, and it has this name, Laplace equation. Because del square is Laplacian, so del square b becomes Laplace equation. So this is all about electrostatic field. Let me give you a small summary now. What we discussed in this unit: gradient, divergence, curl, coordinate systems, electrostatic field. Divergence of this field is rho by epsilon naught. Curl is 0. Potential we defined minus del b. Okay, and del square b is minus rho by epsilon naught, and del square b is 0 in free space. So any doubt with any of the point? Any confusion here?
Can you please explain this last point, del square b is equals to 0?
So del square v is equal to 0 means whenever there is no charge, this equation will be followed. Now, okay, so let me give you some very basic problem. So d2x over dt square is acceleration, right? That is given by this. Okay. Can you please tell me what is the velocity at t is equal to 2?
Ten.
No.
Plus c.
So dv by dt is equal to 5, right? And if you solve it completely, v is equal to 5t plus c. What is c?
Constant, not known.
So it is a constant. मैंने आपको नहीं बताया कि boundary क्या. Boundary means I should have tell you at least one velocity somewhere. Either at t is equal to 0, I should have told you that what is velocity, or at some other point, right? Similarly, can you calculate what is the position at t is equal to 2? That is also not possible. Dx by dt is equal to 5t plus c, or x is equal to 5t square by 2 plus ct plus c2 or d. So you can see this equation have infinite numbers of answer and all depends on what do you choose for C and D, right? Same thing is here. Although this is one differential equation, but इसके infinite answers हैं. What are the conditions? So you need to tell me the potential at least at 2 points. जैसे इस केस में या तो मैं आपको दो जगह पोजीशन बताऊं कि t is equal to 1 पर पार्टिकल यहाँ था, t is equal to 2 पर पार्टिकल यहाँ है. Then you can find COD. और at t is equal to 1 पोजीशन ये था, वेलोसिटी ये था. Then also you can find the complete solution. Same thing happens here. I need to give you potential at some places. Then only you can find the complete and exact solution. If I don't give you the boundary, there are infinite answers, right? And see, this is not one-dimensional problem. This is three-dimensional. Del square consists of three variables: x, y, z, right? So it has a more complicated answer now. So it depends on what are the boundaries, and depending on the boundaries, depending on the initial conditions, it may have different answers. But why is this equation important? The importance comes from this point. Like in a blank universe, this is Earth. So obviously in vacuum there is no charge. Vacuum में कोई charge नहीं होता है. So how do you determine what is the possible potential flow in the universe? यदि universe में electromagnetic waves है, कुछ है, उनका possible structure क्या होगा? That equation tells you. करना क्या होगा? Scientists will have to figure out potential at some special points. यहाँ पता कर लिया, यहाँ कर लिया, यहाँ कर लिया. They need to know some initial conditions. Once they know, they can solve this equation, put these conditions, and they will get the corresponding potential distribution in the universe. So solution depends on the initial conditions, and accordingly the mathematics will continue. But since most of the universe is free of any charge, anything, that's why this equation has some important role. Okay. So ऐसा नहीं है कि free universe में आपका potential zero हो गया. Free universe में potential can have a behavior which depends on the conditions. Any other doubt? Is it clear?
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir.
Any other doubt?
सर आई हैव अ डाउट. सर सबसे फर्स्ट पेज में डाउट है सर.
Which part?
हाँ सर, गॉस का वो जो आपने बताया था कि उसमें गलत क्यों आ रहा है.
Yes.
सर उसका एक कॉज ये भी बता सकते हैं क्या, जो अपन ने h हाइट के सिलेंडर मान के वहाँ पे फ्लक्स क्या निकाला, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड निकाला है
Right.
गॉस में, और सर जो नॉर्मली निकाल रहे हो पूरे लेंथ की वजह से आ रहा है. मतलब सर गॉस जो है वो सिलेंडर का हाइट जितना ही बता रहा है और बाकी जो है पूरा वायर का इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड वहाँ पे आ रहा है इस टाइप में.
See, I am not getting your question. So you are talking about a wire of finite length, huh?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me draw a wire of finite length. Easier. Now.
And sir, we are taking a cylinder of some height, h.
Same height or different height?
Sir, different height maybe.
Bigger or smaller?
Sir, take a smaller.
A smaller height. All right. So let us say this is a cylinder. Sorry. Now.
सर तो किसी भी पॉइंट पे जो मतलब सर अगर किसी सिलेंडर के पॉइंट पे अगर अपने को इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड पता करना है तो गॉस जो है वो सिर्फ उतने ही एरिया का बताएगा, उतने ही हाइट ऑफ लेंथ का बताएगा जो कि उसके अंदर है. मतलब जो वायर का हाइट सिलेंडर के अंदर उतने ही बताएगा.
नो सो सी, गॉस लॉ कहीं नहीं कहता कि आप उसे इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड पता कर सकते हैं. Sorry, I'm writing. Gauss law just say that this equation is true. Means, let us say this is the electric field on this Gaussian surface. यहाँ पे इस तरीके से है. This is the profile of electric field. यहाँ पे कुछ इस तरीके से field है. Okay. This is the kind of electric field at all points on this Gaussian surface. Gauss law कहता है हर एक जगह इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड चेक कीजिए, करस्पॉन्डिंग सरफेस से डॉट प्रोडक्ट लेके ये इंटीग्रल कीजिए. दिस इंटीग्रल विल बी इक्वल टू इस वायर का कितना हिस्सा सिलेंडर के अंदर है, इतना हिस्सा सिलेंडर के अंदर है, राइट. इतने हिस्से में जितना चार्ज है उसके बराबर होगा. ओके अब इसको आप रिवर्स वे में यूज कर सकते हैं या नहीं यूज कर सकते, उसकी गारंटी गॉस लॉ नहीं दे रहा है.
ओके सर.
राइट. सो इन सम केसेस यू कैन, किस केसेस में, जहां आपका वेक्टर ई जस्ट एक ही वेरिएबल हो, लाइक हियर. सो इन दिस केस यू कैन सी इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड एट टू कंपोनेंट्स, वन अलोंग दिस, वन अलोंग दिस. दोनों ही कंपोनेंट अननोन है एंड यू हैव ओनली वन इक्वेशन. सो गॉस लॉ गलत नहीं है, बट गॉस लॉ से आप इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड नहीं निकाल पाएंगे. बट now let me increase the length of this wire. गॉसियन सरफेस अभी भी सेम साइज का है, बट मैंने वायर की लेंथ बढ़ा दी. क्या इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड चेंज होगा?
यस सर.
नाउ द लेंथ इज इनफाइनाइट. वायर की लेंथ इनफाइनाइट है बोथ डायरेक्शंस में. व्हाट इज द इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड नाउ ऑन द सेम सरफेस? सरफेस अभी वही है पहले जैसी. नाउ यू कैन सी, आप चाहे यहां पर हो, चाहे यहां पर हो, चाहे यहां पर हो, चाहे यहां पर हो, चाहे यहां हो, कहीं भी हो, देयर इज नो जेट कंपोनेंट ऑफ इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड. जेट कंपोनेंट क्यों नहीं है? क्योंकि आपने वायर की लेंथ इनफाइनाइट कर दी है. ऑलराइट. सो यू किल्ड जेट कंपोनेंट by increasing the length of the wire. Okay. Gaussian law, this equation अभी, ये इक्वेशन अभी भी सही है. इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड चेंज हो गया है, बट अभी भी E डॉट ds कैलकुलेट कीजिए नए इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड से. ऑब्वियसली इट इज नाउ डिफरेंट एट डिफरेंट पॉइंट, बट ये इंटीग्रल अभी भी सेम वैल्यू देगा. तो पहले केस में E कुछ और था, ds तो सेम है. ये इंटीग्रल कुछ वैल्यू दे रहा था, लेट अस से 5. दूसरे केस में भी जब वायर की लेंथ बढ़ा दी है, E चेंज हो गया, बट ये इंटीग्रल अभी भी वही वैल्यू देगा 5. ओके. फर्स्ट केस में आप नहीं इससे E निकाल सकते थे, सेकंड केस में आप निकाल पा रहे हैं. क्यों? बिकॉज देयर इज नो E सेट. व्हाट यू आर लेफ्ट विद ओनली वन वेरिएबल. एक ही वेरिएबल की इक्वेशन है, आपने मैथमेटिक्स में आप जानते हैं, एक वेरिएबल की इक्वेशन है, एक ही मुझे चाहिए, आई कैन डू इट. ओके. सो गॉस लॉ गलत नहीं है, गॉस लॉ हमेशा सही है. इसको आप रिवर्स में यूज कर पा रहे हैं या नहीं कर पा रहे हैं, वो आपका लक है. सो फॉर फाइनाइट लेंथ ऑफ वायर, and for infinite length of wire, Gaussian surface is same. मैंने Gaussian surface चेंज नहीं किया है, वो दोनों में एक ही है. Gauss law is true. Gauss law अभी भी true है, but cannot be used to find electric field. Gauss law यहाँ पे भी true, ये कभी गलत हो ही नहीं सकता. But and you can use it to find electric field. Let me give you a very simple case. There is some charge here, and this is the Gaussian surface. And let us say this is the electric field on the surface. Okay. According to Gauss law, E dot ds is equal to, let us say this charge, there are these charges, and these total charges are equal to 10 coulomb. So 10 coulomb upon epsilon naught. Now I put some extra charge here. मैंने कुछ चार्ज यहाँ पर रख दिया. क्या इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड सेम रहेगा?
नो सर, दोनों को जैसे आएगा.
Now it will change. It will change at every point. Let us say it is here like this, it is here like this, it is like this, it is like this. सब जगह बदल जाएगा. Now this is the new field. I am writing in green color. Or let me use some other number. This is E1. This becomes E2 now. Surface तभी वही है. ये बदल गया है, but ये इंटीग्रल नहीं बदला है. ये अभी भी वही है. Now can anyone explain how come it be true? ये कैसे सही हो सकता है? See, जो चार्ज एक्स्ट्रा है वो सरफेस के बाहर है, वो अंदर नहीं था, बट वो इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड चेंज कर सकता है. एंड सो दिस, ये E2 डिफरेंट है, बट ये इंटीग्रल नहीं चेंज होगा.
सर जो चार्ज बाहर है उसकी वजह से फ्लक्स जीरो आएगा.
राइट. सो यू कैन राइट दिस E2 is equal to E1 plus some modification. Let us say that modification is this curly E. Okay. So this integral is equal to this integral plus this integral. ये इंटीग्रल आपको 10 by epsilon naught दे रहा है, and this is due to the charge inside. ये इंटीग्रल आपको 0 दे रहा है. Okay? And that's why you get. यहाँ पे वो टेक्निक काम नहीं कर रही है. It's a different functioning. But Gauss law is always true. यहाँ पे आपने इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड चेंज कर दिया वायर लेंथ चेंज करके, बट स्टिल आपका राइट हैंड साइड हैज टू बी इक्वल टू टोटल चार्ज इनसाइड द सरफेस. इसलिए गॉस लॉ कैन वर्क ओनली विद द क्लोज सरफेस. यदि आपकी सरफेस क्लोज नहीं है, गॉस लॉ कैन नॉट बी यूज्ड. सो यू मस्ट हैव टू हैव ए क्लोज सरफेस. सरफेस ओपन होगा, देन इट विल नॉट गिव यू राइट आंसर. क्लियर हुआ ये?
यस सर.
Any other doubt? So I'm going to start next unit from the next class, and these are the main summary. I think you have the syllabus, right? Syllabus have लोगों के पास?
यस सर.
Let me see if anything is missed or not. So gradient, divergence, curls are discussed. Gauss theorem we have discussed. Stokes theorem we have discussed. Gauss law we have discussed. Applications means for some symmetrical cases you can use it to calculate electric field, but in some cases only, not everywhere. Poisson Laplace equation we discussed today. So this is the end of first unit, although it takes more than 6 lectures, but anyway. So we will go to the next unit. Please read from your 10+2 textbook. What? Biot-Savart law. पढ़ा भी होगा आपने, याद भी होगा थोड़ा बहुत. Read little bit about steady current. We will discuss, but read on your own. This is a standard problem, but we will discuss again. Magnetic field due to circular loop पढ़ चुके हैं आप, फिर से डिस्कस करेंगे. This is something good, and I'll give sufficient time to it. Ampere's law application. So Ampere's law, you already know 50% of it. Remaining 50% we will discuss in this class. Force on a charged particle means Lorentz force in electric and magnetic field. All right. This is somewhat new. Magnetic vector potential. So as of now, you understand that potential is a scalar quantity, but now you will see potential can be a vector quantity also. So some things are new. So we will devote more time on vector potential and Ampere's law, and remaining things you already know. So we will cover accordingly. So let me end this class. All right, you can leave now.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.